Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to another rendition of the Anthony Around Town Show. I'm your host, of course, Anthony Crosby. This is the weekly show where we hop online as a community and talk about some cool people, events, things within our culture as a community. Last week, we kicked off the 2020 season of the Anthony Around Town live stream show, but unfortunately, I was all by my lonesome. I had just to hang out with you guys all by myself. Well, not by myself. This is why we do it live, is so that you could be a part of this conversation with me. So mostly what I have to say is thank you for keeping me company last week. It was nice to chat with some of you. But as far as physical presence goes, I am not alone this week. I am joined by your favorite person in the whole world. You know him, you love him. We have cameraman Matthew Rom joining us. What's up, buddy?
Not much.
What's been going on? We haven't seen you since last year, last decade, whatever you want to say. So we need to do a little catching up. So, okay, first, let's just back it up. Let's back it up.
Yes.
How was your holiday season? How was that whole shindig?
It was a good holiday season. I had a lot of fun. I just enjoyed some good company. And there's nothing that really can beat good company, I think. So
that's awesome. How's Elizabeth? How's your girlfriend? Did you get her anything legit? Okay, let's brag about you for a second. What did you get her for Christmas? This is the test. So it's their first, set the stage, in case you didn't know. Matthew got a girlfriend towards the end of last year. We talked about it on the show.
Yes.
Big deal. It's super awesome. So this is their first Christmas together. Kind of a big deal. This is, make or breaks probably 85% of relationships. What kind of Christmas gift you're going to get on the first go around. So to set the stage, Matthew, what did you get her?
So she really likes elephants.
Okay.
It's something that I first learned when I was first getting to know her, and so I went to go pick her out some jewelry.
Okay.
Which might seem a little bit cliche.
Okay, all right.
Some
All right.
buddies who were kind of giving me some jokes about that.
Okay.
But I picked her out. It's a nice little sterling silver kind of elephant.
Ooh.
And it's not like too shiny or anything like that, which I think I like really kind of the plain and simple stuff.
Okay.
But part of it of the elephant is a pearl, and it creates kind of like the body of the elephant. It's
Ooh,
just this
fancy.
little pearl.
Dang.
Which is June's birthstone, I believe. It's like one of the stones that's associated with June, I think.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but and that's her birthday is in June. So
You went deep. Dang, that's pretty impressive. So I'm assuming I'm going to put myself in Elizabeth's shoes. If I got that gift, I think I'd stick around for at least till Valentine's Day. At least. So that's what, a month and a half?
If I can just keep it going from there.
You make it holiday by holiday. So you
good.
just got to make it through Valentine's Day. No, that's pretty awesome, man. What about your New Year's? Did you do anything crazy for New Year's?
Yeah, I just hung out with Elizabeth and our friends Scott, Rihanna, and Thaddeus actually came and hang out with us.
Nice.
Too. We played some games. Did a New Year's toast and everything. And so
Pretty awesome.
It was a pretty chill night, which can't be chill.
Yeah, it can't be chill. That's good. Well, we're glad that you decided to stick around this whole Anthony Around Town deal in the new year in 2020. We really appreciate just all that you do. Basically, if you don't know, we talked about this before in previous Anthony Around Town content, but you never know. You might be just checking us out. That's fine. Basically, Matthew does a lot of our behind the camera work. So when we do, especially our videos for YouTube and Facebook, he's the man helping make a lot of that possible. So really just super thankful for him. He's been with this whole thing since literally the very beginning. We sat in the back of the trunk of my van and talked about this whole concept like 2.5, almost 3 years ago.
Some deep talks.
Deep talks in the back of that van. Deep talks. Hashtag Deep Van Talks. And now we're in our studio. Yeah. This is your first time streaming out of our studio. So far you like the setup. It's different from what we did before. More spacious. So, we're not right on top of each other.
As far as the space, it's mind blowing to me kind of now.
Yeah.
Because, I'm just normally a tall guy, very long legs. A lot of I notice space.
We didn't have a lot of space before. Awesome. And I got to give you
loving
some
it.
compliments. Elaine Castle says, nice job. I'm assuming that's for your
Necklace.
necklace. So
Thank
good
you
job
very much.
on that.
I did definitely put some thought into it, and I'm glad that she likes it.
Dope. All right. So first off, before we get too crazy, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to be just going, try to keep this thing 45 minutes like usual. But before we get into all that, just got to first throw out a how are you doing type vibe out there, because, you know, part of the reason why we do this show live is so we can talk to you, engage with you, be in community with you. So I just hope your week is going well. I hope you're staying safe out there in all the snow and slush. I hope 2020, despite all the craziness and scary stuff going on in the world at a larger context, I still hope that you're able to find joy and happiness and friendship in this early new year. My week is pretty good. Just, you know, putting out a lot of stuff for AAT. We'll talk about that as the show goes on. But I have to say a big thank you, and I'm actually going to switch to our one-on-one cam here to say this. Say a big thank you, because on Saturday I was actually given a award by our local Riverton dealership. They actually recognized me as a hometown hero at our Elko High School game that we were having against Truckee, where we put in the beat down on Truckee. Sorry if you're from Truckee, no offense, but we kind of schooled you on the court, which is all good. Go Indians. But I just want to say thank you for that recognition from Riverton and everybody there who thought of me. But mostly why, I wanted to switch the camera to this so I could look you guys in the eye and just say a big thank you to you all. Because without you coming and supporting this whole concept week in and week out, then this would be nothing. I mean, I don't care how innovative our ideas are. I don't care what me and Matthew go out and do. Without you guys, none of this is possible. So last week, I sat here in the studio by myself, and 1,100 of you checked that video out and watched that, and I just can't say how thankful I am that you guys that many people are willing to do. I remember when we first even just did the live stream, I think we said maybe if 100 or so people watched it, we were going to be pretty stoked. And so now the fact that hundreds of you watch it every single week and read the blogs and watch the videos and checked out the podcast that launched last week to a lot of great success, I just can't say thank you enough. So it just humbles me and really just makes me love this community even more, the fact that you guys just have been so supportive of this whole thing. So symbolically, I want to give that Hometown Hero Award to all of you all watching this, especially if you've been with us for a while, because, again, you guys are my heroes, so thank you very much. All right, so with that, I just want to remind you, as we're doing this whole community thing, I was looking at the wrong camera already, I'm sorry. As we're doing this whole community thing over there, I just want to remind you that the live chat is open, so if you're watching this right now, 8 p.m. on a Monday night, feel free to hop on your keyboards or your little phone thing and write in a comment, ask a question, give your opinion on anything that we talk about tonight, and we'll stop and we'll make sure we get those read. So feel free to do that. Got to give some love to the business that allows us to have this spacious new studio space every week. That's, of course, NV Off-Road, located at 1430 Stitzel Road, Suite A. If you haven't heard of NV, they're pretty cool. The owner, Justin's a good dude. But basically, they help make sure that your power sports toys, so we're talking your motocross bikes, we're talking ATVs, your snowmobiles, all that good stuff, are just maintained and upkept so that you can spend more time on the hills, on the slopes, on the dunes, wherever you take your power sports vehicles. They just make sure that you don't have to worry about sitting in your garage all weekend, unable to ride, because you got to do all that stuff yourself. So, excuse me. So if you're in the need for some assistance when it comes to any of that stuff, come check out our friends over here at NV Off-Road, and just make sure you tell them that Anthony Around Town sent you. Also, just want to let you know that big picture wise, all of this is made possible by some awesome sponsors. Got it. Second time's the charm. Matthew's here with me now. I was by myself last week, but now that Matthew's here, I'm intimidated because
I thought we worked well together.
we do work well, but I'm nervous
I
now.
thought you bounced off pretty well.
I'm nervous now because I feel like you're gonna be like, oh man, I worked with this guy all year last year. I should have given it a clean break in 2020. And you'll just walk out and it'll be super awkward because we're live and everybody will see that. And I can't hide that anywhere. I can't edit that out.
Leader with you for like 3 years, man. Come on.
All right. So let's back up. So the reason why we're able to do this big picture is because we have some awesome sponsors. Those sponsors are the Hilton Garden Inn, Iron Horse RV Resort, Elko's Relay for Life, and the Garden Grill and Bar located in the Hilton Garden Inn. Speaking of which, let me show you guys this. We talked about this last week. Matthew, last week we announced to the live stream viewers that the Hilton Garden Inn's restaurant, the Garden Grill and Bar, is having a all-you-can-eat, hot-to-order breakfast for $7.99 going on until January 31st. I talked about the fact last week that I'll admit, and I admit it to them, I'm not a big breakfast person. I usually just kind of hang out until lunchtime, and I don't really give breakfast its just due. What's your stance on breakfast? How important and valuable? I know it's supposed to be the most important meal of the day. I get it. I've heard that. I get it. But I just fail at it. So what's your whole stand on breakfast?
Let me think of something. Would you say The Rock is a very important person?
Sure. Yeah.
Breakfast is a lot more important than
Whoa. Hashtag hot takes. You're saying breakfast is more important than Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Yes. 100%.
Wow. Okay.
100%. He's a phenomenal actor, but I love breakfast. You can't go wrong if you get some good breakfast in you to start the day off. It's amazing. 10,
okay, what's your go-to breakfast? What's your go-to breakfast item?
I would have to go with biscuits and gravy.
Ooh, okay. I can mess with some biscuits and gravy.
You can't go wrong with eggs. You can't
Classic.
go wrong. Yeah, bacon's really good.
Yes.
Can't kind of go wrong with bacon. It was a fad. It's over now. But bacon is really good if it's done right. And if anything, like it just starts your day off well. You get a good run in the beginning of the day, and you just keep going. You're feeling good all day. You're not hungry. You're not grouchy because you're on an empty stomach. So just 10-10 would recommend get some breakfast.
So if you're in the need of a delicious hot breakfast and you want to eat a lot of it, and you only have $8 in your wallet, where should you go?
Probably the Hilton Garden Inn.
That's right. So through January, so a couple more weeks, head to the Hilton Garden Inn, get their $7.99 hot, ready, all you can eat breakfast, and let's make breakfast great again. Who's running with that slogan? 2020 presidential campaign. Let's go. There you go. Hashtag make breakfast great again. All right, let's go over to the live chat before we get into the meat of this evening. Elaine Castle says, congratulations on the Hometown Hero Award. Thank you so much, Elaine. I'm glad that you threw that out there. And also got to say a big thank you to you because you also won a Hometown Hero Award over the weekend for all your work that you do through helping build up the local music scene here in Elko and all your work through Sir Optimus. If you want to learn more about Elaine, just go to anthonyaroundtown.com and search her name. We did an article on her, and you'll see why she definitely deserved that recognition. Yes. So thank you, Elaine, so much. All right, so what we're going to do now for the rest of this evening is we're going to get into some of the content that came out on the Mainsite last week. So we have a couple blogs, and we have the podcast that launched last week. We'll get into those, and we'll just kind of take some of the topics and themes that were brought up through those pieces of content, and we'll hang out. We'll just chat about it, Matthew. Let's see if this is like riding a bike. If we can just hop on and just keep it up. We'll see.
I'm sure we got this.
We got this. So last Wednesday, and by the way, throughout the whole time, use the live chat. We'll stop and we'll check that out periodically. So last Wednesday, we put out our first blog of 2020, and it was actually with Mayor Reese Keener. So I went to his office, sat down. We had a nice, long talk. Got to pet his dogs. He has some very nice dogs. Big dogs, but they're nice. They're chill. But it was nice because when I went to go meet with the mayor, and he owns a couple businesses in town, Alliance and Print and Copy and all that.
Yes.
I knew it'd be a good conversation because I've known him for a hot minute, but what I really wanted was to make sure the article that we wrote on him kind of brought out his not true heart for the community, but was more than just hey, I'm the mayor, I'm going to say the typical
more than superficial.
Yeah, not that saying that he would be that, but I just didn't want my question asking and my writing to convey that, because
you want to be a little bit more profound, a little bit more deep with the conversation.
100%. So what made me thankful for our talk is the talk was more between two Elko residents more than anything. We talked about, he shared a lot. He's been here for 25 years now. So we shared a lot about just his perspective on the growth of the community in Elko. So he's like, this part of town used to look like this, and now it looks like this, and it's crazy seeing different things culturally evolve. And we just had the art expo and his heart for local artists and stuff like that. So it was really cool that we weren't sitting down and doing like a 20-minute interview, but just like I was talking to the barber downtown about his stint in Elko, we were able to chat about the community. So that was really nice. So if you haven't been able to check out the article, go check it out. It's on the Mainsite. But as the mayor, obviously, he has some pretty cool insight into some things coming up within our community, especially heading into this new year. So what I'm going to do, Matthew, is I'm just going to go to the site itself and read that section of the blog where the Mayor Keener kind of talks a little bit about some stuff coming up in Elko. And I just want to hear your perspective on it, because I don't know, maybe it's cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch, and I'm going to get my glasses on because I am blind without them. So indulge me. Okay. So here's what this says. So I asked him, what did I ask him? I said, can you give us a sneak peek into some cool things that may be coming into our community throughout this new year? Here's some stuff that he said. He says, when I came into this, my desire was always to leave things better than when I found it. We have a new Kohl's retail store going in on Mountain City Highway. We're working on broadband development, bringing new providers to the area. We have a beautiful airport facility here, and I'm working on opening up new flight options. Wouldn't it be great to have direct flights to Vegas for people who wanted to attend a Golden Knights or Raiders game? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
He says, I'm passionate about the downtown redevelopment efforts. There's a plan to put in a Chicago pizzeria and pub in Stockman's with over 100 beers on tap. Big O Tires is putting a new shop over on 11th Street. Greater Nevada Credit Union, our friends over there, we did a video with them. Mm-hmm. They're building a new facility on the corner of 12th and Idaho. And we just found out, this is pretty cool, that Summit is in contract to buy the old Lamoille Power Building to build it back up to potentially be used as a museum.
Nice.
And then he goes on to talk about how we just need, affordable health care and just a safe, clean community and all of that. So pretty cool conversation that we had with Mayor Keener. So Matthew, of those things that I just kind of read from that little excerpt, what are some things that stood out to you that seemed like pretty sweet things?
I think, honestly, the museum is probably going to be my favorite out of that. Like, I definitely think knowledge is an honorable pursuit, and so being able to just build up a place where people can go and see, namely history, it's phenomenal. And so we have a few spots in Elko that we already do that. And
so, we got the Cowboy Arts and Gears Museum. We obviously have the Maine Museum, Northeastern Nevada Museum, at the Western Folklife Center, Cowboy California Trail Center. So we have some. That's what actually we talked about. We talked about museums specifically, and we were like, it's cool because we have a good abundance of quality museums here in Elko, surrounding areas, and that's really good for tourism because people come here and they want to learn about the history of the cowboy or the Basque people and things of that nature. So museums are always a good thing to have.
So I'm definitely stoked for that, and I mean the fact that they're even using an older building is, they didn't just pick a different plot of land and was like, okay, we'll do this. I mean, that in itself is just kind of, making Elko a bit of a better place. And so I'm definitely down for that. And I think Kohl's, I don't necessarily do a lot of clothes shopping, but I know a lot of people do. And a lot of people don't necessarily always stay in Elko. So the fact that we get kind of more options, maybe that'll help people, find some good deals, some good places, to get their clothes. So
Sweet.
pretty cool. Pretty excited for that too.
As somebody who runs a media brand, I'm excited about that internet service. Yes. Fiber optic broadband internet would be really nice.
That would be
super nice because, I believe it or not, running a media website, you got to use the internet. I use the internet quite a bit, so that's what I said. And also that pizza pub thing sounds pretty delicious. Maybe we should put a pin on the word pizza because we're going to be talking more about pizza a little later on in this video. I didn't write about it in that section of the blog, but you also have the new sports complex coming out later spring. That's kind of be a big deal, and he was excited about that because obviously, tourism and bringing money into the city and filling up some of the hotels that we have in town. He was talking about the fact that softball leagues and getting players from out of the city to come in and utilize that complex for softball tournaments and things of that nature. So just really encouraging conversation because obviously he has to think big picture about the state of Elko and how to further grow it and cultivate it. But like I said, which was really nice was really just talking to somebody who's called Elko home for the next 25 years. And even after his stint in office is over, it's just evident that he's just going to be around serving this community. So we're super thankful for our conversation with Mayor Keener. So that was Wednesday. Thursday was kind of a big day for us here at AAT because Thursday was when we launched our fourth type of media here at our site. So we have our blogs, obviously, videos. I told you Matthew's a big part of that. What we're doing right now is the third part, live stream. But we were missing the audio component. We were missing something that's kind of a big deal in culture right now, and that's podcasts. There's hundreds of podcasts out there. Many of you listen to podcasts, sometimes maybe even more than music nowadays because you're working out or doing stuff around the house and you just throw on a podcast. And so we at AAT were like, you know what? If we're going to take charge and kind of build ourselves up in all forms of digital media, we got to make sure we're in this podcast game. So spent the last month and a half just prepping that and recording episodes of that and editing that and sending that out to hosting platforms and all that sort of good stuff. And Thursday, we were able to publish the first episode. And it was with Miss Alicia Chavez from Academy Mortgage, a good friend of mine, awesome woman and very active in this community. You can go check it out. We kind of talked a little bit about this last week. But in case you missed it, the whole concept of the podcast is to interview people like we normally do, but do it a little differently than we do in our videos and our blogs. The podcast interviews, we'll just get to know them a little bit. And then I like to throw them some random out there questions that they don't prep for and they really can't see coming because they're just really random. And the point of that is just to, get to know your neighbors and how they would respond to certain things in a unique and different way. So that's what happened in episode 1 of the podcast. That's kind of going to be kind of the format moving forward. So we're going to test it out a little bit here. We're going to see how Matthew does on the spot answering a random out there question. I was curious about this. Let's see how you answer this.
All right, let's do this.
How many holes does a straw have?
It's funny because I just watched a video that broke this down.
Okay, explain it to us. Okay, I need to know because I specifically saved this question.
Did you watch
for
it from a guy named The Action Lab?
No.
Okay. I saw it on there.
Okay. Answer it for us.
So essentially, there's a breakdown of like different types of definitions for what a hole is.
Sure.
So for instance, like a mathematical term would be, if you can't shrink it down into like a singular point, it'll be a hole in it. So mathematically, it would only have one straw, right?
Hole in the straw?
There'd be one hole in the straw. But however, if you're talking engineering, there's like
Engineering.
I'm trying to pull it off like the top of my head. There's like just like two different terms because you have like you'd have your one like hole that goes through, then you have like holes like that would come inside for like stuff like pipes and stuff like that, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, there is.
So what's the answer? What is your answer?
It's. I think logically, like after you kind of break down everything, I'd have to say it's one hole. That
One
goes
hole
throughout the entire thing.
So that's what you're. So let's just say we brought up your beautiful girlfriend at the beginning of this stream. So let's say Elizabeth comes to you. She's like, Matthew, I need you to answer this question. This is a very deep question. How many holes does a straw have? And depending on your answer, it depends if I'm gonna stay with you or I'm gonna break up with you right now. So she pretends she's me. How are you still sticking with that answer? One hole?
Yes.
Even under all that pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
You got to be logical, right? You know.
At first, I always thought two, but then I thought about it. And, I mean, so I don't know. Interesting. Okay, so Matthew says one. So that's just a little taste of what we do on the podcast. He had no idea I was going to ask him that question, but hopefully you got to learn a little bit about Matthew through that question because you know that he's into some interesting stuff online, and he's a man who sticks to his guns.
I literally just saw it on Facebook. It was just a Facebook video. I'm like, oh, that's
there you
cool
go.
Topic. It was really like ironic too, because it was like 2 weeks ago.
Weird. Oh no, I've had that question in my head for a while, but I was saving it. Yeah, for like weeks. So I guess it was meant to be. Excuse me. Sorry.
Hit me with what color is a mirror.
That'll be next week. Okay, that'll be next week. So if you haven't already, go check out the first episode of the Anthony Around Town podcast. Yeah. Just search anchor.fm/Anthony Around Town if you want to get to our main hosting page. Or if you're on Spotify, the Anthony Around Town podcast is now officially on there. Super exciting. We're working on getting on other platforms like Apple and stuff like that. It just takes a little bit of time since this is our first episode, but stay locked into our Facebook page and our Instagram, and we'll let you know when all those sites are ready to host our stuff. But for now, Anchor and Spotify is where you can find the podcast. All right. We're going to take a little bit of break and give some more love to our awesome sponsors before we roll on with the second half of the Anthony Around Town show. Again, our sponsors who make all this possible are the Hilton Garden Inn, the Garden Grill and Bar located in the Hilton Garden Inn, where you can get that delicious $7.99 breakfast going on until January 31st. We have Elgos Relay for Life, and then Iron Horse RV Resort. I want to show you something going on with our friends at Iron Horse. They actually have a pretty cool winter promotion going on right now. And let's just work through it. So it says, commit to the first 3 full months of staying at a cottage at the Iron Horse or having your big rig RV parked at the Iron Horse, and you can receive $200 off your 4th month for both RV and cottage spaces. You guys can see the detail on the screen. I'm going to talk to Matthew for a second. Iron Horse, we've been there before. We shot some videos there. Yes. It's a very nice space there. So, yes. Okay, let's ask another big out there question. So you're driving your RV from Walla Walla, Washington, down to Elko, and you're getting a little nervous because you're getting ready to be in city limits. You're on your way here to be a guest on the Anthony Around Town podcast because it's always been your dream. So as you get closer into town, you're looking at a place to park your RV. You've heard of this Iron Horse place. You kind of look it up. You see some stuff about it. Why are you picking the Iron Horse?
Real quick, is Walla Walla, Washington an actual place?
I'm 93.7% sure it is. So there you go.
Okay, dang. Honestly, as far as being, am I using the experiences that I've already had at the?
Sure, yeah. Let's say you came down to Elko for vacation once, you checked out the Iron Horse, and you're on your way back, and you're trying to decide if you're going back. Why are you going back?
Because it looks phenomenal. It looks like a really good environment. You can see, especially in like the summer and stuff like that, you can see the nice green grass. There are cottages if you choose a cottage. Just really, kind of I wouldn't necessarily say homey, but it feels like a comfortable space to be in, and that's always important when you're looking at somewhere that you want to stay. If you want to go to your RV park, so if you're using your RV in that situation, um, I actually I've talked with some people about like traveling, and there's like laws and stuff like that about RVs and stuff. So
Oh,
you have a safe area to go to park your RV, to know that nobody's going to be coming around and messing with it and stuff like that. So, um, and as far as visiting, what more could you ask? So it's good.
sweet. So just make sure, as you can see on the screen, I'll let it cover up my face, and you can look at the Matthew's the eye candy. He's the eye candy of the show. So you can look at him. But the promotion is for the first full 3 months. If you commit, you'll receive $200 off your fourth month of RV and cottage rental spaces. So thank you again to Iron Horse RV Resort. All right, so we talked about the content that came out on Wednesday. We talked about the content that came out on Thursday. Friday, we had our first Small Business Friday feature of 2020, and it was a good one, a very popular one. As I just dropped my pen on the ground, that's fine. I haven't really needed it anyways. Thank you. It's mostly just for fidgeting, so there's that. I don't think fidget spinners are in style anymore, so I just use a pen. I'm good. Anyways, a very popular one because the person we interviewed for our first Small Business Friday feature is a very popular woman here in town. Her name is Ashley Lorty, and she is a photographer who specializes in boudoir photography. And when we were talking before the show, kind of going over our notes, Matthew actually asked, what is boudoir photography? What does that actually mean? And basically, to kind of break it down in a respectful term, because I honestly, I didn't know even before I met and interviewed Ashley. I had to ask some ladies what boudoir even was. But basically, women have their photos and pictures taken, and then sometimes they're wearing lingerie, sometimes they're wearing evening gowns and stuff like that. But the point of it is for them to just have these photos taken by a professional in a setting that might be a little uncomfortable for a lot of them, that might be a little vulnerable for a lot of them. But the goal, especially for Ashley and her perspective, is to use that time to build up the confidence in the woman and show these women that, hey, no, you may be a mom, you may be working 40 hours a week, you may have done all this stuff, you may be a little older, you may not be 130 pounds, let's say, but you're still beautiful the way that you are. So we're going to take these pictures, and it might be a little different compared to some other types of photography because we're just going to see all of you, but again, look how awesome that you are. That's you. This is Ashley's explaining it to me and her experiences with these women, having taken these pictures. She'll just say, that's you on the screen, and some of these women will be like, oh my gosh, like that is me. And what's really cool about that, so I talked to Ashley about all this like way back at the beginning of December. This just came out last Friday, but I did the interview like a month ago. So it's nice to go back through my recordings and listen to my conversation with Ashley, because honestly, a lot of our time was spent just talking about the whole concept of what I just said, encouragement and positivity and confidence, because what she's really about is, hey, when you come and you take these pictures and you're just out there on the bed doing all this stuff, sure, you might take these pictures and give them to your husband or your girlfriend or your partner or something like that, but ultimately you should take these pictures for you, because this is going to build up your confidence, because I think not just for women but for all of us, sometimes when we look at ourselves we see the stuff that's wrong, right? We look in the mirror and be like, oh, I'm overweight, or I'm underweight, or I have these wrinkles, or I have whatever it is. We just see the imperfections, even though other people might give us compliments all day long. That's just how we are. We're hard on ourselves, obviously. So her whole stance is, no, we're gonna take you. This is you. It's not supermodels on these beds. It's our local women. It's them, raw and real. We're gonna take them, and we're just gonna highlight how awesome they are right then and there. And I think the reason I said Ashley, she's pretty popular in the community, is because she's done something super, super smart that I honestly wish most businesses would, most brands and businesses and things like that. She's built a really strong community of women who she just encourages to support one another and build up one another and all that good stuff. She's talking to me about like her work on Facebook and stuff like that, and how many women are in her Facebook group and what they say to each other. And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's why she's so successful, and that's why this whole idea of boudoir photography here in Elko, I think, is so successful. Is because she's really fostered the sense of community. And we talked about this last week on this live stream that I'm just really big on, and I think leads to a lot of success long term. And that's why part of why we do this live stream in particular is to build a sense of community through Anthony Around Town. But I think that's just how you get people from like, okay, I've heard about you, I heard about just your work, just your business, to seeing it as a part of their lives. Because again, for Ashley, these women will go on this Facebook page and they'll talk about things that they're all working through, or they'll be encouraged to share pictures, and what other women will comment on the pictures and just say super nice things. And she's just done a really fantastic job about that. So Matthew, let me ask you, because I talked a lot to Ashley about this, and this is on the blog. But for your perspective, how do you think self-confidence ties into having and being around a healthy community?
I think just having self-confidence, it really like affects so much of our day-to-day lives, right? For instance, if I'm lacking in my self-confidence, I might not take care of myself getting into the day, right? And then now I'm going throughout the day, kind of like, man, why am I doing this? Or why didn't I do that? Or, I'm focusing and nitpicking things that aren't really helping me throughout my day. Whether it's going to my job, or whether it's going to one of the places that I volunteer, or for people, if it's going to school, if you're going to school, stuff like that. Self-confidence kind of has this power to affect our day, whether or not we really kind of see, and so if we, and I think in a very similar manner, it's kind of like the whole breakfast thing. If we can start off the day on the right foot, if we can kind of see something that we like about ourselves, we just start off the day feeling good, and we just kind of carry that over. And the really cool thing about that is, and you'll read stories about this on the internet and everything, where it's like that spreads to other people. And so, just feeling good about yourself, having correct and healthy self-confidence, it can be really, I think it can be changing to the community, because we do, we can kind of see in little instances where, it's like at Starbucks and somebody's feeling really good, they're having self-confidence, and they're just having a really nice day. That transfers to other people, whether it's through maybe buying the coffee behind you or something like that. Or there's this hilarious story that I read. I'm not going to go too far into it, but essentially this one dude was holding hands with another guy, and it's, I don't know if you guys read that story, but it's super funny. Sorry, rabbit trail. But just to be able to kind of see healthy attitudes spread into the community and stuff like that is always like amazing.
Totally.
I think so.
And that was kind of what Ashley said in our conversation was she just loved seeing these women's kind of progression through the photo sessions, because obviously when they go in, they're a little shy, a little nervous. Everybody would be. But once they get into it and they have that confidence grow and grow and grow, they're, having a good time and feeling beautiful and sexy and all these sort of good stuff. Then, they'll wrap up. They'll leave the session, and she's like, then it just, like you were saying, trickles over to other aspects of life. Maybe they'll make a decision that they wouldn't have before because they have confidence, or they'll try something new, or they'll go talk to somebody. All these different things that maybe would be harder for them to do before, they have that confidence now because they were able to find that in themselves and see that in themselves. And obviously, maybe, not this style of photography is not going to be for everybody, but I do commend Ashley and her whole community, because the idea of building positivity and encouragement and and confidence in our neighbors, I think, is something we obviously admirable. And we also the whole community could use more of that. So Ashley, thank you for what you're doing and all of your hard work and all your makeup artists. Our homegirl Chloe Tetz is actually a makeup artist with Ashley, so I got to give a shout out to Chloe. We did a couple videos with her. Go check out our YouTube channel. But yeah, super thankful for that time. And I always thankful for stuff like that, because obviously, as a dude, I'm never. Again, we didn't even know what boudoir photography was before this blog assignment. So this is why we love doing this, is that we get to learn aspects about our community and different perspectives and how other people are living and growing themselves in Elko that we wouldn't be privy to on ourselves as two dudes. So really cool. Yeah, love this job. It's a good job. Speaking of the job, let's talk about some stuff that we have coming up ahead. It's not really a job. It's more like a... How would you describe it? Party. It's speaking of the party that we have coming ahead here at AAT. I want to talk about some of the new content coming out this week. So I mentioned our YouTube channel where we did a couple of videos with the makeup artist Chloe. We actually have a brand new video coming out this week on our YouTube channel, and we'll share that on Facebook as well. This is a video we put together last year. Just now getting ready to come out. It's going to be an interesting one. I kind of teased this last week when I was talking about it and said, it might bring up a little bit of a civil war between Elko and Spring Creek. And instead of me trying to describe it, why don't you guys watch the first few minutes or so of this video, and you'll kind of get a taste of the flavor. So let me play this for you right now. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Anthony here from Anthony Around Town for a very special video. That's right, it's time for the Pizza Challenge 2020, Elko versus Spring Creek. Today, I can guarantee you a winner is going to come out on top, because I'm not going to be the one judging the outcome. We're actually heading through the tunnels to good old Carlin, and we're going to sit down with some Carlin residents with some Elko pies, some Spring Creek pies, and they're going to be the ones who tell us who comes out on top. So, how is this going to work practically? How are we going to actually have this pizza challenge go down? Well, first thing that we're going to do in just a minute is we're going to order some pies. We're going to order the exact same pizza from 2 different locations in Elko and then 2 different locations in Spring Creek. We're just going to keep it simple by ordering 1 small pepperoni pizza at each location. Then, as soon as the pizzas are ready, myself and cameraman Matthew are just going to slyly walk in and grab the pizza just as if it was any ordinary day. We're not going to tell them this is the part of the challenge. This is going to be a 100% candid competition. Now, just for the sake of keeping everything civil, we are not going to show any of the employees' faces. We're not going to actually tell you exactly when we shot this video. You're watching this in 2020. Heads up, we shot this back in 2019. You don't need to know the day, you don't need to know the time, because hashtag don't get people fired. But once we get to Carlin, we're going to take the 2 different pizza locations from Elko, put them on 1 box. We're going to take the 2 different pizza locations from Spring Creek, put them on 1 box, and then we're going to present them to the judges. And they're going to be grading the pizzas on 3 different criteria. Number 1, appearance. How does the pizza look? Does it look appetizing? Does it look like it has a nice cheese to sauce to pepperoni ratio? That's first. Number 2, obviously, how does it taste? We got to do the taste test. Does the crust work well with the sauce and the cheese? Does it blend together? Does it make one magnificent pie? That's number 2. And then number 3, re-eatability. would they want to order this pizza again from either Elko or Spring Creek. And they're going to be judging all three of those different factors on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being meh, 5 being yeah. Then what we're going to do is we're simply going to add up the scores. But here's the catch. Carlin is not going to know which box is which. We're going to keep it vague. They're not going to know which box is Elko. They're not going to know which box is Spring Creek. They're only going to know they're eating pizza. They're judging it based on those 3 points of criteria, and they're going to be declaring a winner. So I think I just did enough of an exposition dump right there. So now we just need to bust out the phone and we need to call some pizza locations. All right, so Matthew, quickly, that was just a little tease of the video coming out, Elko versus Spring Creek Pizza Challenge. Carlin judges are getting in on this. You were with me, obviously, that whole day. We put this video together. What sort of tease can you throw out about this video coming out Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m.?
I don't know, man. That was a really good intro.
Okay. You can't follow that. No, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It was fun. Honestly, we got to eat some of the pizza.
We did. We ate a lot of pizza.
So not even gonna lie. Hashtag party.
Hashtag party. Hashtag AAT party. So just be back here Thursday to see the results of the Elko versus Spring Creek 2020 Pizza Challenge. And thank you to our Carlin judges again. It was really cool to get all 3 cities involved. So Elko, Carlin, Spring Creek went all 3 one day. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Be on the lookout for that on Thursday. What else is coming out this week? Oh, so I was telling Matthew before we got started that by total coincidence, I didn't plan it like this, but it's just, it kind of falls into place. It's pretty cool. This week, as far as our blog articles go, it's actually going to be kind of like a movie theme week. So on Wednesday, we're going to share a blog that we're putting out a conversation I had with a manager of one of the local theaters in town. She's been a manager there for many years, and so we're going to get some inside scoop into what it's like working at a movie theater. We worked at one of the theaters once, right?
I worked at both of them for short periods of time. The main one was the newer one, Cinema 6. I worked there for the majority of the time that I did work at a movie theater, and then they did have me work at Crystal 5 for a little bit as well.
Nice. All right, so that's going to be on... well, that was your first job. Oh, very cool. Okay. Mine was a Taco Time in Reno. It was the only Taco Time in the Reno area, and it got shut down. So I'm bad luck when it comes to fast food establishments, apparently. But movie theater, very cool. So that'll be out Wednesday. And then Friday, our Small Business Friday feature. It's not really going to be a small business per se. It's going to be more of a small town local event happening. We're going to talk to the man behind putting together a film festival that's going on here in town in February. So super cool. If you didn't know, this isn't brand new. Elko has a legit film festival every single year and has for many, many years. So a lot of people don't know that. I'm super excited. I'm going to be there because the movie they're showing several movies, but especially the big one that they're showing this year is one I've been really wanting to see. It actually just got nominated for Best Picture today. It's called Parasite. So I'm super excited to see that. But we'll have more information about that out on Friday. So let's go on. So Wednesday, we're going to have a blog feature, movie theater. Thursday, we're going to have the Pizza Challenge video out. And then Friday, we're going to be talking about the Elko Film Festival. So just be on the lookout for all of that. All right. Well, as we get ready to wrap up the Anthony Around Town show tonight, let me give some more love to our awesome sponsors. We have Iron Horse RV Resort, the Hilton Garden Inn, Elko's Relay for Life, and the Garden Grill and Bar located in the Hilton Garden Inn. Make sure you remember that the Garden Grill and Bar has that $7.99 all-you-can-eat, hot, ready-to-order breakfast going on until January 31st. And then the Iron Horse has that special promotion. If you commit to 3 months there with your RV or live in one of their beautiful cottages, you can get $200 off your 4th month. Lots of stuff to let you know about as we wrap up. We're on social media. So just follow us, obviously, Facebook. If you're watching this somewhere else on Facebook other than our Facebook page, you're more than welcome to come and give a like to our Facebook page. It's just facebook.com/Anthony Around Town. We're also on Instagram. We have some cool stuff and pictures and updates going on there all the time. Again, just Anthony Around Town when you're searching on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, new video going up this Thursday. We already talked about that. We're on Spotify now, Anchor.fm, lots of different places. We're all over the place, dude. All over the place.
Right. You could say we're around town.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like we did that on purpose, huh? If you need to get a hold of us for any reason, if you disagree with what Matthew said about the hole, how many holes does a straw have theory, then you can do that. How many holes does a straw have theory? I don't know, too many words. But he said one. So if you disagree with that, or if you have your own theory, or you need to get a hold of me because you want to recommend somebody to be featured on AAT, or you just whatever it is that you have a comment, concern, anything, you can get a hold of us at anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. That's anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com. Also, I would highly suggest, if you're like, Anthony, you guys are around town, you guys are doing so much, I can't keep up, you're all over the place throwing out all these different websites, blah, 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 blah. Can you just make it simple? Can you just make it easy for me to find your stuff in one convenient place? We have the Mainsite for that. But we also make it a little easier. Every single Monday, we send out what I call the weekly e-letter, the weekly e-blast, which is just a once week deal where I put all the links of all the new content that we published the week prior into this email, and I send it to everybody who has subscribed to this email. So all you have to do is you get it, you click on it, you watch it, click, read it, whatever, listen. It's all there for you. You don't really have to go wandering around for stuff. And there's no ads. There's nothing crazy. I don't bombard you with spam. It's just every single Monday I send that out to our followers. So if you like to subscribe to that email list, then all you have to do is go over to the main site, anthonyaroundtown.com, and hit stay connected and just give me your name and your email and you'll be added to that list. Or just hang out and peruse the site, because after you do that for a few seconds, a little pop-up's going to jump out at you asking if you want to sign up that way. And if you want, you should, because I think that would be fantastic. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else that you need to throw out before we wrap up this live stream?
Just that I'm glad to be back in 2020.
Yes. Glad to have you back, buddy. It felt good. It's
been too long.
All right, let's see if we can remember how to do this part. So, this has been another rendition of the Anthony Around Town show. Until next time.
Catch you later.
See you around, Delco.
Smooth.